Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Alexander Mihalache. I'm investment manager here at SeedBlink. Thank you all for joining our live pitch session. We're excited to introduce a fresh new startup called Directimo. Directimo is an AI-powered marketplace for European vacation homes. They are solving a massive pain in the real estate industry that has outdated processes for international buyers that are looking for second homes, especially vacation homes, and in high demand places as France, Spain, Portugal. With me, we have Matei, who is the founder and CEO of Directimo. Hello, Matei, and the team.
Hi, Alex.
Matei, I would love to start by asking you to briefly introduce yourself and also the core team behind Directimo.
Thank you. I'm Matei, founder and CEO of Directimo, marketplace that radically optimizes property acquisition in Europe. I'm started nearly 20 years ago with Magazinul de Case, a platform for direct transaction without intermediaries, which had among the highest transaction in Europe in the for sale by owner niche. Florin and I met when he acquired Magazinul de Case in 2010 on behalf of Sanoma, a significant European media player. Later, we developed a buyer agent platform, the precursor to Directimo.com, a project in which Radu also invested. And with international scaling always in mind and a strategy to initially validate in Romania, we achieved very good monetization from the vacation home segment. We realized it's a significant niche, over $70 billion, unaddressed at a European level, and at the same time, much easier to penetrate.
Awesome, awesome. Hello, Florin. Do you want also to briefly introduce yourself?
I don't think Florin joined, but I can take over
Radu,
if
sorry.
he's not here yet. So hi everybody, I'm Radu. I'm an investor in Directimo and also I'm involved operationally. My background is in tech and advertising. I started my first startup in 2002, 23 years ago. Quite a long journey. I've been a client, so I've discovered the concept of buyer agent through the second project that Matei started after the exit from Magazinul de Case, and I realized the problem that buyer agents solve. It was a face-to-face sort of service. It wasn't an online service. And then later on, I became an investor, and now again, I'm operationally involved as well in Directimo because I really believe we finally have a really strong product market fit, and I'm ready to take it all over the world.
Awesome, awesome. For the rest of the participants, here is how today's session will go. So first, we will hear a 10-15 minutes presentation from the Directo team. And after that, we will open the floor to a live Q&A session. So throughout the session, feel free to use the Q&A button at the bottom of Zoom screen to post questions. For sure, we'll address as many as we can. Now, let me hand over to Matei or Radu to walk you through the presentation, traction, vision. Matei, floor is yours.
Sure. Matei, should I take over the deck part?
Please.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because lots of all of the info in the deck are actually present in the presentation that I have on the SeedBlink page. Shortly, we're a marketplace that are in the middle of sellers, buyers, and agents in vacation homes transaction, and trying to solve one of the biggest pain that real estate has, which is the very, very slow process and very frustrating as well process of buying a house. We're focused, this is the process wherever you're buying in Europe, I mean, wherever you're buying, whatever value the property has, it's almost the same type of frustration, but we're trying to focus on, on a specific niche, which is premium vacation homes in very good destinations. And this is the reason we've started with Costa del Sol, which is by far the largest vacation homes destination in Europe. As I've mentioned, this is in Europe, this is a very long process. And the reason it's in Europe, it takes 6 to 9 months as opposed to 1 month in the US is mainly because of the data chaos that is present in Europe, where the business models of incumbent players is that they get a fee for the listings, which leads to having lots of duplicate properties on all of the portals, sometimes 7, 10 times duplicates, not up-to-date information, and a market that is dominated by what is called seller agents. Usually, clients are frustrated about what they call real estate agents. Really frustrating experience that real estate agents have. But we know that actually what this bad experience is caused by what we call either dual or mostly seller agents that are trying to sell something, anything, regardless of the actual client needs. So we're trying to solve that by fixing the database, making sure that clients have a very hygiene things, right? Trying to see it's odd to talk about that in 2025, but the fact that you want to have a database with unique listings, so no duplicates and complete data for each property, and having exact addresses, so you know exactly what you're looking for. Maybe you want the front line on the beach or whatever you want, whatever info you have, we provide that information, which is really basic hygiene stuff that actually is not happening nowadays. But then obviously we do way more than that, and we're trying to help the buyers across the journey with everything they need, from choosing the right property for them based on their criteria, to actually understanding, navigating through all of the hassle and all of the tons of information they need to understand about, taxes, credits, financial, everything, legal stuff, everything that they need to understand if they want, for example, to rent the house that they're buying afterwards, putting it on Airbnb, for example. They need to understand the legal implications of that, and so on and so forth. And we do that in two ways. One of the ways is that we're doing is through an AI buyer advisory service on multiple layers. Florino will explain better than that part. And then we obviously have what we call a last mile human touch. We have agents on the ground, foot on the ground, because obviously you're not going to buy a house, especially an expensive one, without actually going to see it first, seeing that, and going there. It's going to still be an offline process. Part of it is still going to be an offline process. It makes sense to keep it like that, and we make sure that we recruit the top agents locally to make sure, and we also put them on our infrastructure and control, and have a very clear control on what they do and how they treat clients and so on and so forth, to make sure we have a very smooth and qualitative process. Our business model is very simple. We don't charge basically anybody. We have a commission that we charge which is the standard commission on the seller side, meaning our all services are free for everybody. And out of that commission, our take rate is 50%, which in the past people thought that this is quite high to take 50% of that, but actually that's lower than the industry standard. We're just trying to make sure that people understand that usually services like this that provide the leads, provide the buyers, come with the buyers, usually take more than 50%. Okay. So in average, that leads to a 17,000 euros per transaction that we split between us and agents. Okay, let's go on. The opportunity is big. As I've mentioned, we focus on vacation homes in Europe, and we specifically focus on international buyers, because that's where the needs are the highest. That's where concierge service such as ours makes more sense. Why? Because they have tons of more information, and the learning curve is even steeper. And because they don't live there, the actual frustrations of traveling there and not, going there to see that what they were promised is completely false and so on, the frustrations that we're solving are even more important in this case. But this may sound like a niche for somebody, but it's actually a huge market, as you can see on the screen. 70 billion per year in purchases of vacation homes in Europe. Okay, let's move on. This is our current traction. So we're a startup, but we're not by far not pre-revenue, but we're post-revenue. So last year we had we handled 13 million in total transactions, and our revenue was 700K, and that was almost doubled in 2023. And on the lower part of the screen, you can see a chart with comparing the 4 quarters of 2024 to 2025, and you can see that we're more than doubling this year again, in terms of revenues. Not just that, or maybe the reason for that is actually that we have a very clear playbook with a very good numbers in terms of cost of acquisition. And with that playbook and everything we've learned, and with the AI agents that Florino is going to present, we're preparing to start in new markets. We've got a long list of 25 big vacation home markets in Europe. We're probably going to start with 2 more markets in Spain, Balearic Islands and Alicante, and the south of Portugal, the beautiful seaside of Algarve. Which is, again, these markets are quite big, but also are quite similar to what we have now. So to replicating the playbook here, we will be faster than what we plan to do later, which is, for example, French Riviera or Lago Como in Italy. Okay, let's move on. Maybe here Florin can take over and present the what we do in terms of AI.
Yeah, sure. So I'll not enter into many technical details, maybe just the vision. Our idea is to use these AI agents to solve almost all the problems actually in this journey. We are starting with this combination with marketing and AI because, yeah, we think marketing is missing in this real estate business. Usually, all the agencies are focused on the seller, so they want to attract seller and listings from the seller, and then they promote the listings in classical real estate websites. Our idea is completely different. Actually, we are focused on the buyer, and we employ here a lot of marketing and AI techniques to know the buyer and communicate with the buyer. And we are starting with qualification, trying to understand the propensity to buy for the buyer. Because in this business, you can buy in 1 month, or you can buy in 6 months, or even in 1 year. And then if you buy in 1 year, the strategy should be completely different, and you shouldn't have a human agent for you in this moment, because the human agent wants to sell, not to educate. 1 year, they don't have time for this, and for this, definitely we are using AI. So first to qualify and then to educate. We splitted the buyers in 6 segments because, yeah, we're discussing about vacation homes, but maybe this is the main idea in the main category. But we have here relocators, people who move in these locations. We have retirees from Nordics, from different countries that choose these destinations. We have investors. They acquire properties, in order to rent and gain also from the property price appreciation and so on. So 6 segments, 6 clusters of clients with specific communication, and with this magic word of matching. We want to match all these clients, all these segments with specific properties from the beginning, because it's easy to imagine if a retire from Nordics wants a quiet location, maybe with a sea view, but not on the beach. Maybe all the others we have a similar, let's say, requirements. So this kind of clusters for properties, for buyers, and also for real estate agents. Because imagine if we have an agent specialized in new buildings, definitely they are better to sell this kind of properties. Or if they know Norwegian, it's definitely a good idea to connect this kind of real estate agents with Norwegian clients and so on. So this kind of clusters actually will solve the matching equation, and this is something unique regarding what Radu said about real estate websites that have listings. They want to show to the clients many and many listings. Our idea is to not to show them many listings, to show from the beginning exact listing that is fitted for their needs, and to solve this as soon as possible. So no competition in this field, let's say. So to sum up a little bit, qualification, then education, then AI matching, and another innovation, we calculate in real time propensity to buy for each client, because we have a lot of signals like types of properties and number of properties they've seen, interactions with our voice AI agents or chat AI agents, or filters applied, or interactions via WhatsApp or via emails, and so on. So we give grades for each interaction and calculate the final score. And with this score, actually, we calculate the propensity to buy, and we know in each moment, or will know because we're developing this product. We will know exactly the stage of the client in the customer journey, and we know when to connect with an human agent. So in a nutshell, yeah, these are the projects in developing, already developed in this moment, but a lot of others will come. Other important things, yeah, we have a partnership with Google. We received some credits from their side, and also they put us in contact with the best partner in the region, a partner. And also, this partner gives us some free credits from the beginning via Google. So, a good partnership with a solid investment, I would say, from their side in our business. Matei, could you continue with the demo? So to show a little bit also about the product.
Yes, I share the screen now to make a short presentation on for our platform. Um, and what are the most important differentiators? Um, are for the start the possibility that we offer to the clients to have access to the whole market, to understand better the market in a short time, and to have transparent access. In this moment, we have direct contracts with over 300 new developments and approximately 6,000 of resales that are daily updated. And for a short uh, and fast demo regarding a new development, the buyers could find the price updates, all the availabilities, and also for the transparency and market understanding, the units that were sold. For each unit type, they will find um, full materials like price list, brochures, exact floor plan for each unit. For the development, they have access to the marketing and branding materials, but also they have access to the reality from the market, where we have real videos from the ground, um, not just the branding materials. And I don't know if in this video, if you put on the sound, here you have the noise from the street, and for some clients could be a no-go to come over hundreds or thousands of kilometers and to say that is a no-go product for them, although they can analyze an overview of the project and the vicinities to understand the real picture of each property. Together with this tool, the buyer agents that we affiliate on each market could develop a trusty relation based by the transparency and the product that we deliver with the clients. Other very relevant tool that is in launching test in this moment is an area discovery tool where we have in Costa del Sol there are 154 areas on more than 200 square kilometers, and each buyer can find the exact areas, not only the properties, because for a property, okay, you see some pictures, but you don't know the neighborhoods. If you are a relocator, you want to be near some international schools, or to have, if you are a lifestyle buyer, you would want to be near golf, because Costa del Sol is the biggest golf destination in Europe, or you could be interested in entertainment areas. And according to your budget and the property type that you want, you can discover the areas until you go on the streets, because could takes many weeks to understand the market, and regular client don't have this time, and it's important to put the time in match properties to can improve their decision, and to have the ideal property for each of them. And we have many filters according to the buyer personas, and for each area the client could analyze the median prices that are updated with Idealista. We eliminate the outliers, and also you can find general characteristics, real estate market details, lifestyle and services for each area, advantages and disadvantages, and also the suitable buyer profiles, and very important, the unsuitable buyer profiles, to can find the exact areas. In this moment, from our informations, it's the first tool like this in Europe. There are some similar tools in US on homes.com and on Property Finder in the Middle East, and they have a real success regarding user engagement. Yeah, also the clients have match property criteria set on the platform and on the CRM, and they receive alerts like this. All the communication between WhatsApp, phones are integrated in the CRM for the buyer agents that receive alerts according to that are customized according to the propensity to buy and lead scoring in the way that Florin described. These are the most important features that allow the buyers to have a better understanding of the market, and to have a better process for a better decision.
Okay, if we go back to the deck, maybe just to the competitor slide, this is probably the last slide we want to show, and maybe we go to some questions after that. We already mentioned that in terms of competition, some of the competitors that we have are incumbent real estate portals. Obviously, this is the first competitor that comes to mind, and there's tons and tons of problems and frustrations over there. There's also a bit of because of their business model, it's quite hard for them to change. They have a very, let me rephrase that. So I'm not saying that what they're doing is bad. Actually, they have a very, very good business model that produces tons and tons of money. Probably it's not going to be is not going to be anymore in the next 2, 3, 5 years because because of the frustration that this model actually brings to clients. But this is the reason the existing portals are really big and really profitable. And also it's really hard for them to change because changing to a better service for clients will actually kill their existing business model. We also compete with some other maybe smaller scale competitors like online agencies and local real estate agencies and other types of marketplaces, especially on the luxury side. We've got, for example, houses that are cost more than 1-2 million euros. Obviously, for that type of properties, you have tons of potential competition, but nobody covers the process as extensive as we do, and with trying to help and educate the clients in each and every stage of the journey from the first time that they have the idea, okay, I might want to actually buy a property over there, to actually moving. So nobody covers as extensive as we do, and trying to also help and eliminate frustrations and reduce the time wasted for this process and make it more efficient for everybody. Nobody does that, and nobody has the interest to do that. Local agencies, we already mentioned, but I'm gonna pinpoint it again. Their business model is again different because they don't have, Florin mentioned that already, they don't have the actual time to educate the clients and help them with their process. If a client maybe has a time frame of 6 to 12 months, they don't have the time. They need to, they live out of commissions. They need to focus on those that are converting in a short time frame. So they don't have the time to spend and help and educate the clients that don't bring any revenue to them. In our case, we do that because we make it more efficient. We're trying to automate it through AI. So this is the reason why we compete with both these incumbent and very, very old real estate models that we have on the market. I think this is probably the last slide that we want to discuss, and maybe we jump to some questions.
If we have more time, 1 more minute to present other interesting features from the platform.
Sure, let's do that.
I mean, let's do it like in 1 or 2 minutes if it's fine.
Okay, perfect. Other interesting features, we have the intelligence section where according to each buyer persona, you can find relevant articles that the informations are validated for the legal parts with lawyers. There are trusted informations, or if you don't have time to read each article, despite we recommend to do this, you have also the AI, the chat with an AI. In the Here is an MVP where you can ask any question regarding mortgage, legal, taxes, or to get feedback on any property, because each agent, it's a buyer agent, buyer advisor for his client, and could advise of any property from the market. Also an interesting tool for analyze the new development market on each area. There are developments that could be compared. In this moment, probably it's a network or bandwidth situation, but here, yeah, you can find a very interesting tool, and to understand why on the same street there could be different prices on 2x or 3x difference. Okay, and otherwise you have more filters for features like sea view, near the beach, frontline beachfront. You can search on very deep on each sub area. We have 154 areas that are one-to-one matched with the Idealista structure, because Idealista is the bigger classified real estate platform in Spain, and it's more easy for a client to compare with them. And here they find the reality and the single source of truth, because the property have complete informations, are not expired, they are deduplicated, and they can find full and transparent informations and details. Yeah.
Thank you, Matei, and thank you also Radu and Florin. I think it was a powerful presentation, and it's clear that Directimo demonstrates validated product and also the business model. I mean, already generating almost 700K euros in revenues and managing more than 13 million euros. It's quite crazy. So congrats for that. And also still a huge market to penetrate. And talking about that, Radu, you mentioned about your plan to expansion in, I think, 25 other markets in the next 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a bit curious, what are the most important actions that you are taking in order to make feasible this plan?
So one of the reasons that we fundraise is that obviously we're generating revenues, as you've already mentioned and we've discussed previously, but we're trying to accelerate. We're not trying to grow organically and wait for 2, 3, 4 years before we can actually expand what we already do very well. So the fundraise is meant to actually accelerate our expansion process. And what we did also since we started, what we did, and we're putting everything together right now, is that we actually created, I've mentioned that already, a very good and very strong playbook for the market. Meaning, from the beginning, we knew that the model is going to be what we call like a Uber-like model, not necessarily like a Idealista or Immobiliare type of model, but Uber-like, meaning easy to replicate in other markets. Markets in our case being not countries, but specific vacation home destinations. So what we did is that the whole of the infrastructures and the processes are in place and ready. And we have a very, very clear process to open new markets one by one. We can do them at some point in the future. We're going to do more in parallel. So we're gonna accelerate even further, focusing obviously in doing everything quite simultaneously, meaning building a database with properties, recruiting local top agents, but also having what they call a market manager, a person who is managing each and every market, so that we make sure that we have a very clear focus and we're trying to penetrate each market and have a very strong market share in each of these markets. So expansion is, we were thinking of that from the beginning. So expansion is key for us in terms of building the business. Also expansion within each of the markets. I mentioned Uber as a model, or Bolt or Lyft or whatever you want to call in these types of markets. If you think about it, what they look for in each of these markets is they look to get a minimum market share to make the business viable. And this is very important for us as well. And this is why we're not hurrying to do that. We could launch the service, for example, the AI service. We could launch it to make it available for every destination in Europe. It doesn't have to be, but we want to make sure that we focus on getting a relevant market share in each of these markets, and we're building a very strong process to get there. Similar to what Uber does not work if they don't have a very strong market, meaning they don't have the drivers, they don't have the clients. The marketplace itself does not work without having like a minimum critical mass, right? For us, it works, but we want to make sure that we follow a similar model where our market share is going to be relevant in each of these markets. So this is by far the most important, the top priority that we have. We think we're definitely going to improve on the playbook moving further, but we think we have a very, very strong playbook already that can be replicated successfully in other markets.
Okay. Okay, understood. Yeah. And also another curiosity, I will say, because you mentioned on your pricing structure, the fact that the buyer doesn't pay anything, so only the seller is actually paying a commission. I'm more curious, actually, what are the secondary verticals in which you can stream revenue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a monetization roadmap with other verticals, what would that be?
Very good question. So, as I've mentioned, we are a marketplace with 3 sides, okay? So we have sellers, the developers or the property owners. We have the buyers, the actual clients who buy the property, and we have the local agents. Currently, we use the existing model, which is getting a commission for the transaction, for the actual transactions from the seller, which is an existing model, very built into the markets. Everybody knows about it. No, it's very, very simple to use it. And this is probably going to be still going to be our main revenue driver moving forward. But we do have we have plans to create revenue streams for each of the 3 sides. Not sure yet. We're trying out some of them even over the summer right now. For sellers, I'm in no particular order, I'll start with the sellers. We're going to have what we call like a premium services, trying to help them maybe stand out with their properties in front of clients without sacrificing the client focus that we have. Meaning, no seller will be able to actually pay us to say only buy this property, but we're going to help them actually stand out more in front of potential customers because we know exactly how that should happen. So this is one service and one revenue stream that we have from sellers. Also, obviously, having this type of service also means getting them a bit more on board and getting a bit more of a loyalty. With buyers, the traditional buyer agent, which is not present in Europe, something that we've seen on the deck is that less than 5% of the agents in Europe are buyer agents, as compared to 60 in US. So 2/3 of agents in the US are buyer agents. So with buyer agents, buyers actually pay buyer agents. This is how the concept works. They pay buyer agents to represent their interest in, make the most of their transaction. We're not gonna have. We're thinking of having a model where we have the buyers pay a potential premium fee to get some additional services, for example, other than what they already get, without meaning that we're ever gonna have a service that is not gonna be, that we're always gonna have the service that is not gonna charge anything for buyers, but maybe for somebody who wants to have some additional services, some additional access to the property database, for example, that they have through the agents, but maybe they want to have access themselves and so on and so forth. There's going to be a fee that they can pay to have access to such services. And then the third potential revenue stream that we've been discussing is having the infrastructure that we put in place as a SaaS, as a software as a service for local agents. Because obviously, the infrastructure is maybe 50%, make them 50% of the time is spent wasted, not spent actually, because of the lack of such a strong infrastructure as we have, which is a combination between properties but also CRM and nurturing product that helps you stay in touch with the clients via email, WhatsApp, and so on and so forth. So automating some of the processes, so it makes their life easier and helps them close more transactions. So this is the third potential revenue. Again, I'm going to state what I said in the beginning. Commission from transactions will always going to be the biggest chunk of revenue, but for sure we're going to put some additional revenue streams on top of it.
Okay. Okay, understood, understood. And also another thing, you or Matej mentioned on the process of the buyer, because you're trying with the entire ecosystem that you're building, you're trying to give like a let's say a good experience for the buyer. And I'm curious a bit, what is the typical journey, like from the first contact on the platform until the transaction is closed? How easy it is to buy a house through your platform?
Radu, or you want to present it?
You can take over if you want to present the product.
Oh, okay. The first the first contact is with the platform where a user make an account and have full and transparent access to the market. After that, depending on the client behavior and uh, if the client is prepared to buy in that moment, he is take by a buyer agent, a human buyer agent, or by the AI. With a human buyer agent, when the client is prepared to buy, he enter in a classical process of buying by uh, really or radical optimized, because the client don't need to make um, many viewings that are not focused on their needs, and he have the all the tools available to understand better the market according to his preference, or to with the with his partner,
Mhm.
with his partner, with his family. um, the other possibility is when the client just analyze the market in the first steps of consideration of analyze. In that moment, he's nurtured and educated with an AI agent who offer all the information regarding taxes, regarding ownership costs, regarding types of areas of properties, aspects regarding schools, lifestyle, retirement, relocation,
Yeah.
yeah, and
And-
these things for sure. Many buy the most part of the buyers will go physical to view the properties, but it's very important to focus all this process with a real digital tool, and
Mhm.
not to get to a property forced by an agent because he don't want to share the exact address, and you need to go 1000 kilometers to see.
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to have nearby, I don't know, place with noise, or
Mhm.
I want to different
Yeah.
different part of other things for the property, for the neighbor, and for
Mhm.
the facilities that you have. And for this niche of second homes, uh, and addressed to international buyers, the need of advisory, it's higher than transaction for a primary home made in the same city where you live. I mean,
Understood. Understood. Thank you, Matej. Thank you. We have a question, guys, from one of our participants. Sounds like that. What KPIs are you tracking most closely, and what does success look like in the next 6 to 12 months?
now we are focused on Costa del Sol market, because the market generates more than 10 billions euros in transaction each year. Um, we have LTV CAC that in this moment is it's 10x, and we are looking at CAC ratio, but also we are looking for the efficiency that we bring in the system for the buyer agents, and how many transactions um, can manage. These are the most important important things regarding the financial.
I
And
would add something here. So obviously, in terms of strongest KPIs that we look for, are, revenue, transactions, things like that, right? But maybe I will respond in a bit of a different way. One of the KPIs, for example, that we look on a weekly basis. So not necessarily the big picture, but some of the things that we're trying to optimize, and this gives you an idea of how you create the playbook. Is that we're looking at conversion rates and cost per different stages of the lead. We're not looking for example, just at things like cost per, I don't know, people who's just signed up for the site for the service, but are looking for each stage where we are in the process. We're looking for the cost and also the source of that lead to understand exactly and make the playbook more efficient. So this is one of our KPIs, the conversion rates and cost per lead. It's called different in our systems because we have different types of namings for the lead
Absolutely, yeah.
in each stage. So this is one of the KPIs. And in terms of success in 6 to 12 months, we're looking at doubling revenue, which is we're more than on track to do that in Costa del Sol. This is one of the KPIs. And then if we look 12 months, being present in 2 more markets. I think these are the by far what a success would look like for us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Radu. And also, it's very important what you have mentioned. I mean, so basically, it's the customer acquisition cost, but you have split it. You have made a breakdown from the moment you have a lead until it becomes actually a customer. And I'm curious a bit, what kind of channels are you targeting, and what are proving the most efficient, let's say?
So first and foremost, we have our long journey for conversion. We're not a classical e-commerce impulse buy, right? When you're looking at people seeing an ad and then buying the jacket, the shoes, whatever. We're not sneakers, right? So definitely this is a long process. And as I've mentioned, we also focus on sometimes and are close to clients who have a really long time frame to do the actual purchase. That means that the process being so long, we split it in multiple stages, trying to understand where each client is in each and every stage. To get what they call leads in, to get clients on to start the journey, and we're looking mostly at paid channels. We're trying to be very, very optimized. Usual channels, Google, Facebook. So nothing in terms of what we do inside is very special, but nothing special in terms of the selection of channels. But we're also looking more and more in getting clients organically and through referrals. So we're building a referral program to get more clients organically, because we think, and we have already tested that, and we see that clients being referred by somebody else who's been through the same process are more likely to convert, more likely to stay with us, because they understand and trust the process and trust us as a partner to be together with them from beginning to the end, to when they do the transaction. So again, short answer, usual paid advertising channels like Google, Facebook, but also more and more looking at organic and referral.
And I will add something here. I think what is interesting, we have dedicated campaigns for each country. I mean, for each type of client. For Dutch, we have campaigns in this language, and also we are building customized versions of the website in specific languages. Additionally, we have the AI chat. The chat speaks the language of the client. So this is something unique, I would say, in this moment, this kind of approach. And we are also adding agents, human agents, speakers of each of these languages. We have in this moment many, but this is expanding actually.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very useful. Okay, guys, my last question, it's about your vision actually. Where do you see Directimo in, like, let's say 5 years? Maybe a huge tech platform, or maybe a category leader leading those markets, or maybe exit ready? What is your opinion on that?
Matei,
In
you wanna
5 years, we have a clear plan to cover 25 destinations until
Yeah.
2029 on vacation home market. Regarding the exit, we have three possibilities. The European players, a market of more than 25 billions, split it through local players that have a very traditional business, the newspaper business that now is online, but is not different than 30 years ago. The second option that is a little bit better for us is to make a strategic exit to a US player that could be interested to develop let's say giant platform, a single platform that cover all the European markets, and I'm referring here at primary residential market. Our advantage is that we have a proprietary way to develop the database with residential properties, where is a hyperlocal knowledge to integrate each relevant database that is not public accessible, and this is our core product to develop this type of databases market by market. In the US, the portals like Zillow, like Homes.com, and others have access to the local databases that are managed by the real estate the networks. Here in Europe, we don't have regulations, and we don't have these databases. And when you develop them, you are the owner, and we have this proprietary system to develop them. And this is a way to create a unified platform like in the US, where you can compare properties between different states. In Europe, we don't have an integrated platform. This is a vision that we think we can start to implement after 2028, starting with 2028, and this is a long shot, 10 years vision.
So-
And the third possibility for the exit is and the most preferred and is through capital markets with an IPO for sure.
So let me rephrase it like we're probably going to be the strongest player in PropTech in Europe. And maybe, we're saying maybe, because this is not the model that we have right now, even the backbone of real estate in Europe, building a system like the MLSs, which is the unique database that they have in the US, where there's a unique database with all of the properties for sale in the US. So I'm saying that maybe we're also going to take a shot of becoming the backbone of Europe real estate transactions.
Got it. Got it. Thank you so much. Cool. If there are no other questions in the Q&A, for all the participants, if you see opportunity here at Directimo, and I think many of you will, I invite you to explore the campaign, which is now live on SeedBlink, and consider joining the round. Thank you so much, Matei. Thank you so much, Radu. Thank you so much, Florin. I think that brings us to the end of today's session. So have a great day, everyone.
Yeah,
Very
thanks.
Take care.
Cheers.
great day. Bye.